Hello, and welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotseben and Friends where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
Yeah.
And Rose.
Hi.
And hang on, I'm getting some interference here. We have somebody in the rotating guest chair that I have just manifested this moment. Our good friend Iro.
Oh, yeah, it's good to be back, you know.
Yay.
We rotated a few through people, but it's nice to be here.
It's good to have you.
Yeah.
If you are a first-time listener to this show, you shouldn't be here. No offense, but this is the end of Ghost
Full
Trick.
offense.
Dessy and I are the longtime fans, and Rose and Tiago are the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives, as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that is near and dear to us. Today, we have all played through chapters 14 through 18, aka the final chapter, of Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Without any further ado, I'm going to get into the summary. And since this is a longer and more elaborate summary than usual, normally I just do the whole summary without any real interruptions, and then we get into the details. But here, I think instead, if, anybody wants to jump in with a really, big moment, you're welcome to, because I don't think we can really drill down much more because it is, I've got multiple paragraphs here of details. So we will take it as it comes. So to start, upon arriving at the junkyard office, Sissel comes face to face with himself. This evil Sissel has just killed Cabanela and calls in to report back to Commander Sith, the mysterious blue man we saw earlier. After seeing this phone call take place, the camera on Commander Sith's office pulls back to reveal that they are actually in a submarine deep underneath the ocean. Sissel jumps back in time to save Cabanela and has to carefully maneuver around the doppelganger's vision cone as they can detect his ghost abilities with their own. Evil Sissel seems to be impervious to harm, taking a bullet to the chest and surviving an explosion too, which Sissel finds the rubble of down below, under which Pigeon Man is crushed. Going back another 4 minutes, Sissel watches as Evil Sissel gets up off the operating table, sets off the explosion, and drags Cabanela up for the eventual phone call. Teaming up with Missile, still stuck in a leaf, Sissel saves Pigeon Man, who we eventually learn was the medical examiner who resigned to study the meteor. Then they save Cabanela. We meet back up with Lynn and Jowd, whose execution has been called off, and they rush off to sneak into the submarine using a tracker that Cabanela shot into Evil Sissel. After a bit of time, Jowd calls Sissel, allowing him to jump into the submarine, too. There, he sees Jowd, Sith, and Evil Sissel's body limp, empty shell, while his spirit is somewhere else. Choosing to betray him, Sith extracts the Temsic fragment from the shell and escapes in his mini-submarine, jettisons away the section of the sub holding Jowd, and then fires several missiles to rack the sub with explosions. Sissel bails to find Lynn and Camilla. And guess what? Lynn's dead again. Sissel goes back and saves her and Camilla by riding a torpedo missile that collides with the sub and preventing it from exploding. However, the sub was still damaged and is now slowly filling with water. Missile and Sissel work together to get the two of them to safer areas of the sub and meet Evil Sissel, now possessing a pile of gears and mechanical parts. Finally realizing that he's not who he thought he was, Sissel lets his self-image of himself go and becomes a ghostly spirit form again. Talking with Evil Sissel, he learns that yes, the Temsic meteor gives off radiation, and anyone who dies near it gains special powers. These powers can change over time and are often unique to each spirit. The blue people and their government wanted this power for themselves, and that is why they betrayed Evil Sissel to take the fragment embedded in his body that kept it from decomposing. Although, now that his revenge plan has failed and he's having a heart-to-heart with Lynn and Sissel, Evil Sissel's feeling a bit less evil. The three ghosts, after planning with Lynn, board the final missile in the sub and fire it towards the sinking capsule with Jowd in it. He's already been killed, so they all jump back in time to rescue him. He thanks them for coming to his rescue, and upon seeing the manipulator face-to-face, he refers to him as Yomiel. Together they chat about how their lives have been entangled, how Yomiel was a systems engineer for top government secrets, how he got interrogated by the police for leaking said secrets, and how he stole Cabanella's gun during an interrogation 10 years ago and took Lynn as a hostage in Temsic Park. After being hit with that shard, his spirit lived on in loneliness for 10 long years, and he began to resent everyone who he believes took his life away. He messed with Camilla's contraption to kill Jowd's wife, and then worked with the, quote, certain other country, unquote, to try to get a real life again. And then, obviously, they betrayed him. So, here we go.
This is like our first break. Oh wait, no, were you continuing?
Yeah, well, if anybody really wants to jump in here, but
I think we should jump in now.
This is where everything is about to go,
yeah,
right?
Maybe we should take 5 and just
maybe
chat.
we should talk. Yeah, maybe we should talk about this chunk as best we can without spoiling what happens next, because after this is like when everything like tumbles head over heels, and we get like revelation after revelation. So yeah, maybe we should chat a little bit here about this whole submarine segment. And
well,
you know,
it starts off in the junkyard, right? We got to talk about So like this is where we first see the corpse of Sissel rise up, and
rise up Sissel gang,
Sissel gang. Fucking, we love well, I guess we did kill a lot of cops, huh? Like Yomiel, the bad guy, is working with the Blue Meanies. He was like, yo, I want to kill a lot of people from this country who ruined my life, and let's do it, gang. Let's kill Jowd's wife. Let's get Jowd arrested for 10 years. Let's fuck up Cabanella. Let's kill Lynn while we're at it. Well, I guess Lynn didn't die. She just got arrested. But Lynn died because of the Blue Meanies plan.
So many times.
That Yomiel's plan was not to kill Lynn. Yomiel's plan was to
frame Lynn.
Yeah, frame Lynn. The Blue Meanies stepped in and was killing Lynn left and right.
Yeah, they were the ones who were just like, we'll just take her out. Yeah.
So like
Yomiel was like, she's just getting close to the truth. I'll have her arrested so that she can't get any further. Whereas the Blue Meanies were like, well, actually, I think we'll cut this off right now, you know?
We have established there's the death penalty, so she should get arrested and put on death row, right?
But it's
entirely possible, yeah.
It hasn't been enforced in so long. They would have to manipulate the Justice Minister again to put Lynn into the death penalty.
No big deal.
True. This is the first time we have
never allow him to do that.
Yeah, his hot wife would never allow the Justice Minister to put another person in death row. This is the first time we have to use like ghost tricks stealthily because Yomiel has ghost vision. He sees, man. He's like, I'm not fucking around.
I like this foreshadowed earlier because Beauty can also like sense ghostly presence, right? If you do stuff in front of her, she's like, something's going on. I know you're there.
Beauty,
she's just fucking psychic.
But so
Yomiel can only see your ghost stuff when when he's actually looking, though. Like if he's turned around,
do the act in front of him.
Yeah.
You can do subtle acts though. Like I remember when the tea kettle was on the ground, I opened it up in front of him, and he didn't do shit. And I was like, oh,
it was just outside of his vision, like just scraping underneath.
True. We have to like rescue Cabanella, and this is the part where Cabanella does his like weird cool heel turn where he's like, yeah, my entire motive was to actually help Jowd. I was helping Jowd this entire time.
Yeah, I was actually a good guy who was doing good things, but just kind of in a
way.
A harsh way.
Roundabout way. Turnabout way.
He kind of fucked up real bad, though. Like, damn.
He broke a lot of ribs in that explosion, He tries to stand up then and just kind of slumps on the chair and is like, yeah, dude, you're not going anywhere. No offense.
Cabanella.
Did any of you newcomers swap the bullet with the hard hat?
I killed him, yeah.
Oh, does the hard hat kill him if you do that?
Oh, yeah.
It fucking puts his face in like a Tom and Jerry cat.
I guess if it was moving really quickly.
It's
as
the
fast as a
moving at the
bullet,
same
yes.
speed as a bullet, right?
Yeah. I had a little trouble with that segment, but then I was like, wait a second, like, this other hat is here, and surely it would not be as
This
easy.
fuzzy hat. Yeah, I mean, it's the trick, right?
Yeah.
You gotta get the hat.
It's also the first time that you have to really worry about where Missile is positioned as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes you can't have two spirits in the same object, so sometimes
Oh
you gotta
my
like
God.
go, okay, I gotta move Sissel over here so he's out of the way so that Missile can slide in to move this.
Mhm.
Then I gotta move Missile out of the way so that Sissel can make his way back over to the other side of the room, like that kind of thing.
Sliding panel puzzles.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to plan around it a little bit.
Luckily, I'd already been suffering from that because I would accidentally like leave one of them in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So I was like already aware of it. So I planned ahead, and that turned out to be a good idea.
I forgot how to get the hat to the other side, so I definitely just killed Cabanella a couple times with a hard hat.
That's okay. You can fix him.
Yeah, you can fix him. You have to do the ghost tango with Missile, who the way that Missile comes back in plot is that his leaf is drifting in the sewer.
Yeah.
And you're just low enough to like make contact with him. Oh yeah, you also have to save the fucking pigeon guy by dunking him into the sewer.
That was fun. I felt smart when I figured that out.
Yeah, there's a trap door that, using Missile's ability, you switch the trap door with a garbage can lid, so it doesn't fit in the opening anymore. The pigeon guy falls through. He's fine. Don't worry about him.
The idea being that, like, since Evil Sissel or Yomiel, can see, when you do a trick right in front of him, you have to do it, quote unquote, right as the explosion happens, drop the bottom out from Pigeon Man, and then he'll fall and appear to get crushed under the rubble, but actually lives as he falls into the sewer.
He's fine.
Yeah, and also you use all these rats along the way, because we keep having these rats showing up, which we'll bring up why you keep seeing so many rats in a moment, but you've got all these rats that you have to like get them into the trash can to make it shake around so the lid bounces off.
Wait, is there a reason why there's a lot of rats?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll get there.
Sounds good. I believe.
If nobody if the listener doesn't know yet, we'll keep them in the dark until we get to the moment.
Bro, I'm in the dark.
Yeah,
it's so like dark in here.
I just thought because they were fun little guys.
Yeah, I thought they were little guys.
And it's a junkyard.
That's a good enough answer.
Okay, fair enough. Cabanella is like, oh yeah, the reason I arrested Dowd again is because if he escaped prison, that would be a real crime, and therefore, I gotta make sure he doesn't do any real crime. I never thought he killed his wife, and that's why when I found Dowd, I brought him to the Justice Minister office to delay for time, while doing a Michael Jackson dance on the way in.
As he does in all his entrances.
The thing about his heel turn in particular is that, like, I don't necessarily feel like it was earned. Like, I don't know. I'm not rooting for this dude. Cabanella is not a dude I like.
I'm kind of okay with that, though. Like, it's fine if I don't like him.
True.
Like, yeah, he seems like he's kind of a bastard, but he's doing the right thing in the end, and, he really, like, he fucked up super hard when he let Evil Sissel escape with his fucking gun. Well,
yeah.
You just leave your gun in the room with a suspect?
He was a rookie at the time that was desperate to please his superiors. So he interrogated this dude hard and, like, cracked him like an egg.
Yeah, I mean, that's all perfectly normal police behavior.
Still not good.
The most realistic part of the whole
bad. Morally reprehensible. But
Cabanella would love to work with Von Karma.
Leaving your gun in a room with a suspect. Like...
Yeah, I mean, if you want to think about it, in a way, Cabanella is responsible for everything that's happened.
Yeah. So I kind of like that he still comes off as shitty.
Right.
He's just a man trying to fix his shitty mistakes in his own shitty way.
Yeah, Yomiel, instead of saying, it's Lynn's fault for playing in the park with an Iowa ran through with a gun, it should be... It's this cop's fault for leaving his service weapon after beating me savagely.
Yeah, like, come on, guys. I don't think he's very bright.
if there were no police brutality in this universe, things would not turn out the same way. It's as simple as that.
What if there were no police, actually?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Then who would Sausage Head take hostage?
Who would take someone hostage?
Who would Sausage Head take hostage if there was no police commissioner?
Exactly.
The Justice Minister.
We'll get back to Sausage Head, too.
True.
It's another child in the park.
So,
yeah.
So we save both of them, and then Jowd and Lynn run in basically after we've rescued Cabanela, and Yomiel's puppeted body kind of walks away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unharmed.
Wait,
yes, unharmed, with the bullet that Cabanela shot him with still in his chest, right? He just walks away like it's nothing.
I like the animation.
He's totally fine.
I like the animation of Yomiel rising back up because it looks like it's just reversed. Like Yomiel gets shot, he falls on like the moving step ladder and like pushes back a little bit, and then it just reverses back up and he stands up like a puppet.
It's like when you take the false death pill in Metal Gear Solid 3. It plays the like death animation where he falls over, but then when you take the antidote, it just plays the death animation in reverse, and he gets back up.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh my fucking god! I love this because it adds more to the it's strange, unnatural powers.
He is simply manipulating this corpse.
Yeah,
it's not quite corpse.
It looks cool.
Looks dope.
Again, the animation work in this game just top notch across the board. And this is just another example of that. And yeah, so he just kind of walks out, and Lynn and Jowd, as they walk in, it's like moments later, it's like, oh, they didn't pass him on the way in, I guess.
Hey, he took a different route.
Yeah, he went through a different like stage door. It's fine.
But yeah, and they're like, okay, so we got to track this guy down. And Cabanela is kind of winks and is like, well, good thing I put a tracker on him. And that is the little pocket watch that he tossed to Jowd earlier in the game, is the tracker so that they can follow where this little GPS device inside the bullet that he fired, and essentially track Yomiel all the way out as he heads out to a submarine. And they say that the exact line is that they just stow away on the boat, that Lynn and Jowd stow away on the boat with Yomiel. So it must have been a decently sized boat if they're able to do that. It's not a little dinghy, that's for sure.
I mean, Jowd's a big guy, but he can roll up really small.
True.
True. Like, freaking
all he has to do is lay down with his face
Samus.
facing the camera.
He's
exactly like Samus.
Yeah. When he switched his pink hoodie for his detective coat, he got the morph ball power.
Yeah,
I like to imagine
exactly.
It must have. I imagine that it's one of those those speed boats that like they use in Miami Vice.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely a Miami Vice.
Yeah, like Yomiel.
Don't go. No, if you're in California, you can't go the coast right out.
Yeah, but Yomiel looks like a Miami Vice character if he was drawn for a cartoon. Absolutely.
Yeah, he looks real cool.
So we make it onto the Blue Meanie submarine, where Commander Sith, the leader of the Blue Meanies, is.
You know him well.
We know him well. I wish this submarine was yellow.
Me too.
We don't know if it is. We only get the cross section.
Okay, that's true.
True.
We wouldn't be able to see the paint.
New headcanon.
I wish his little submarine was yellow. The little one where he gets in and all the other Blue Meanies are stuffed in the porthole.
That's actually
laugh.
I'm so happy he takes all his employees with him. Dude cares about
it. He really did.
He cares. He's a hero. Oh.
No.
I don't know about that one, Chief, but yeah.
He's a good boss, I think.
Also, his name's Commander Sith.
Yeah, I mean,
that's funny.
Which is why way back when I was like, oh, I'm going to be excited when Rose finally learns what his name is.
I looked at him and I was like, yeah, all right.
They really just named him Commander Bad Guy. It's crazy.
It's also
that is
the
what
submarine.
The Sith would do.
Submarine is called the Yonoa, which is a Japanese pun for like the world of the dead.
Oh,
something like that. A lot of the places are puns like that.
Right, like Temsic.
In Japanese, yeah.
Is an English kind of localization of that, since it's Kismet instead.
Yeah.
Is Yomio sounds like, so fucking biblical.
It's like a Yomi, right? Like
I looked at it and I was like, is this like an anagram for something? And I was like, I'm terrible at anagrams. I'm gonna go
it's
lie
like
down.
Yomi is like hell, right?
Yeah, I think that's all it is. It's just Yomi from Japanese.
And then I think it's also like it's like a multi-stage pun or something, because also it can mean like revive. Like if you take other syllables in the name in Yomiel, it can also be like to revive or something like that.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, that all makes sense. 100%.
Real talk, I thought it was straight up from the Bible, because it reminded me of Gabriel and all the ales, you know?
The Bible.
The ales.
The ales.
It sounds a little biblical. But
there's a lot of ELs in the Bible.
I knew
Gabriel.
a dude in high school, his name was Jor-El.
Jor-El. That's...
not because his parents liked Superman, but because his parents were super religious.
He wasn't Superman's dad.
No.
Superman's daddy. Sorry.
What the fuck?
Everybody clip that and use that
like
out of
that.
Your
context.
immediate whoops. Sorry about that, guys.
It's going on the soundboard, folks.
The sound.
Yep.
My soundboard. I honestly forget what's the first puzzle we do here.
In the submarine?
I mean, it's not till we get to Lynn, really.
Okay,
right?
yeah, we have to find
what happens is we see Jowd there, and we see Yomiel's like shell kind of laying there, and this is the moment when Sith betrays Yomiel, right? Mm-hmm. He has his little robot arm come down from the ceiling, and it grabs the meteorite fragment that's in the body and yanks it out, and
thus starting the decomposition process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and he that's when he bails away in his little escape submarine, and his like second in command dude who's there watches over Jowd as that section of the sub with Jowd in it, this little room, gets shot away into the rest of the ocean, just kind of away from the sub to kind of further separate him. And Sissel is stuck on the main sub then, and that's when he's like, well, you know, Lynn must be here somewhere, so I better go check in on her.
Yeah.
She's face down in the water.
Yeah, we find her face down in the water, completely dead once again.
Like she got killed in Fortnite.
Camilla had to watch Lynn drown.
Was she conscious?
Camilla went through a lot.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't.
I'll say she wasn't.
She just woke up and Lynn's floating.
That's that could also be bad. We have to rescue Lynn again.
Good way.
And it was a missile that hits the fucking submarine that we have to prevent.
Torpedo.
A torpedo, yeah, it is a torpedo when you're underwater, huh? Are all missiles underwater torpedoes? Is this?
I don't know enough about military hardware.
What if an ICBM is launched from a submarine?
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering if this is a magma lava situation. You know what I mean?
I mean, we make lots of missile jokes though, because how could we not?
Exactly.
Right? The dialogue makes so many missile jokes.
Oh, missiles here too, by the way. The little doggy.
Yeah. Missiles here. Camilla's here. The missiles here.
True. So we have to save Lynn. We have to stop the missile from exploding, and that involved. I'm actually struggling to remember the puzzle. I don't know why. I kind of just like blacked it the fuck out.
I remember the puzzle.
There's somebody in this chat who remembers it very well. So I'll let Rose take it. Apparently everybody else was mostly fine with this, but unfortunately,
I don't know what happened. I'll be perfectly honest. So
you had a migraine. That's what happened.
Yeah, I had a migraine. So you get the missile. I'm in agonizing pain, but you gotta do your homework. And you get in there and you zoom super far into the mechanism, which I thought was kind of cool, actually. We haven't done that before.
Yeah, like a cross section of it, yeah.
Yeah, and you're in there and you're like, all right,
like a sand.
There's like a couple gyroscopes and there's a rat for some reason. And the rat is the Superman
inside
of rats.
Of the torpedo.
Yeah, inside the torpedo. And if you try to activate the safety mechanism, he like strongman lifts it off because it'll like squish him.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is very silly.
It's very cute animation.
So what you have to do is stop the gyroscopes in a certain extremely obvious way so that they tilt and the rat falls off, and then you can stop the like mechanism or whatever. So I was like, oh, I'm having a little trouble getting these to stop at the same time. Let me check a guide and make sure I'm doing it right. I check the guide, and the guide says, okay, yeah, you're doing it right. Just stop it when they're both facing down and then activate the mechanism. And I go, okay. So I keep doing that for about 20 minutes, and it's not working. And it's not working, and it's not working.
Up.
Every time I stopped when the other one would instantly restart, I was like, what's going wrong? I'm like, you know what, that's it. I'm gonna go watch a video. So I go find some random YouTuber video, thank you, I don't know who you are, and I never will. Because I don't listen with sound on, because I hate that. And it was from the original game.
Yes.
Not the remaster, which we are playing, and it shows them stopping the weights in the place that I was trying to stop them. I check another guide that says stop the weights when they're facing down. This one said you can stop them facing either direction. And I go, okay, I'm going to go take some painkillers, and then we're going to come back.
Part of the puzzle. Put down the console you were playing. Go get painkillers from your cabinet. Take them.
Yeah, this is what Professor Layton would want me to do.
True.
In the game facts text in ASCII art. It's like, don't
I was
forget
gonna say in ASCII art, a bottle of ibuprofen.
Yeah, take some ibuprofen, everybody. I come back and I'm like, it says I can do it either way. Let me try doing it up. Get it right on like the third try. So apparently, in the old version of the game, you had to do it down. In the remaster, you have to do the weights facing up.
So the other funny part is I investigate this a bit, like, because when we were doing it on stream, we were having a little bit of trouble, and so I looked it up, and like the guide I was using was a let's play of the original game.
Yeah.
And that dude specifically complained, no, it has to be on the up, and I don't know why all the guides say it has to be pointing down. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, alright.
So,
I wish I found that guy.
There is some confusion here then somewhere. I don't know why all the guides say down then. It's really confusing.
Because I just assumed that I had tried up and failed, maybe, because I was like, I don't know.
So
it was...
Yeah.
Also, apparently, the difference between torpedoes and missiles is torpedoes are not guided. Missiles have guidance systems.
Oh.
Well, then I guess this is a missile.
This is a missile.
That's a fucking missile.
It's not guided though. We're manipulating the weights so that turns.
I guess, but it turns around so to come back and target the.
Also,
sun.
Lynn inputs the coordinates. Of
it is a missile.
It's a fucking missile.
Room.
Yeah, she does put coordinates in.
So it's a missile.
So
missile puns justified. Anyways, that's the story
Mystery
of
solved.
The Rose moment of this game. There was one coming up eventually.
Here's my question. So, like, if I'm understanding this correctly, this puzzle in the DS version required you to put both the weights at the bottom. Is that correct?
Maybe
no,
not.
That's the top. It's unclear is the problem.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Rose saw a video of people putting it at the bottom.
You know, I should go check again.
You should go check again.
I'm not doing it right now. We're recording.
Point is, everyone hates this puzzle. All my homies hate the missile puzzle.
Yeah. And it was so simple. I knew what I needed to do.
Simple. That's exactly.
And I just thought I was doing something horribly wrong. I was missing some super obvious thing.
I had an extremely surface level thought, which was, oh, it should both be up top because the rat is on top, and that's it. Right. That's the only logic I had, and then it worked, and I was like, all right, sweet, let's move on. And then
I thought it had to be the other way. I was like, oh, I need to destabilize the rat, you know? Let me shift the floor so he tilts off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
I
suspect most people had Tiago's experience, which is they just did it after 2 or 3 tries, and that was it.
Right? Yeah.
You shut your brain off, and you were possessed by.
I was this rat.
Push buttons until it works.
Yeah.
I want to say that the biggest issue here is that you had a migraine.
Yeah, I think when looking back, that was my downfall. Everybody stay hydrated.
Yep.
Eat food. You know. normal stuff.
Don't have a migraine.
Stand up and
you can buy potassium and sodium salt at the grocery store, and if you mix that with some table sugar, you can make your own oral rehydration solution.
Woohoo!
Wait, is that for real?
Yeah. What?
Is that a real? I've never heard of that. Can I do that like right now?
I do it all the time.
Not right now. We're recording.
I always have a bottle of shitty Gatorade that I water down somewhere in the house, just in case. I hate Gatorade so much, but it works.
This is coconut water instead.
Coconut water?
Yeah, it's got a lot of potassium in it.
Can I put potassium salt in the coconut water?
I don't see why not.
Hell yeah, bro.
Careful, potassium poisoning is a thing.
Don't you have to eat like 1,000,000 pounds of bananas to be poisoned by a banana?
Potassium, not... You can... No, stop.
Potassiums are in bananas!
Just reaching across the table.
There is potassium in bananas, but only eating like 20-some bananas can get you sick from potassium poisoning. You can't get radiation poisoning until you eat like 1,000,000 bananas.
Oh, got it.
Potassium supplements have to be like actually quite small for daily recommended value potassium because of legal limits.
We have gone outside the realms of video game podcasting.
And we've established if you eat too much potassium, you become a ghost.
True.
Listen, we're just sharing some hot gamer tips from me, which are simply do not get a migraine while playing puzzle games.
Anyway, because of the missile doesn't explode anymore, but it still impacts the submarine, therefore causing it to start flooding instead of instantly killing them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's the slight difference. It's enough to change fate enough. And so you then have to do a bunch of puzzles in which the sub tilts so that it's vertical now.
It's tilted.
And now everybody's kind of clambering up the sub as it is filling up with water to get further and further up to the, I guess it would be the nose of the submarine, right? Mm-hmm. As the rest of it fills up with water. So you have to move some pumps, you have to move some fans.
Yeah.
There's these pistons that are moving left and right, and you got to make them like into stairs by swapping them with missile and sizzle and activating, that kind of stuff.
When I played this game, when it first came out on the DS, this is the puzzle that I had trouble with because you have the time pressure of the water, and
filling up
and getting the stairs right, and I was just like, ugh.
Wait,
but then when we did it on stream, I was like, "This is fine." You're right that you probably can't restart.
Yeah, I would be like, "Oh, I fucked up. Let me rewind time." Or, "Oh, this took me too long. Let me go back." "Ah, shit. Oh, fuck. I can't."
It's happening in the moment. This isn't somebody's death that we're fixing, right?
Well, bad news. I killed them both several times.
Wait. Is this puzzle actually timed?
As far as I remember.
I didn't even get this would be a real gamer moment. I never actually had a trouble with the water. I solved it immediately. It was like, all right, sweet, let's move on. Yeah. This is
gamer brain Tiago over here.
Gamer brain Tiago, who's already played this game.
I don't remember the solution.
It's subconscious.
No, this is a submarine.
I'm looking. I'm looking at you.
It's been 10 years. I don't remember shit. I only remember the next part.
Yeah. Well, then, yes, as we get everybody to the top of the sub, an arm reaches down, a weird mechanical arm reaches down through this hatch, yanks Camilla and Lynn out, and pulls them to safety on the other side of the door. Mm-hmm. And Sissel's like, damn, who was that? And then we get on the other side, and that's when we see that it was, at this point, he only still knows them as Sissel, but Yomiel, who has now possessed all these, chunks of mechanical parts and has formed them into his own little body.
Still get the yellow spike via a some kind of conical chunk of something.
A bit of junk.
I thought it was
and glasses.
I thought it was a
He's got the sunglasses still.
Yeah, I thought it was a trumpet. I was like, damn, dude, that's crazy.
I have no clue what it is.
Yeah, no, we never will.
It's just debris.
Someone just had a quarter.
Right? A funnel or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was I thought it was some kind of smushed funnel. Why that would be there, I don't know, but
yeah, you just gotta get there for the sake of making the shape, right? And this is kind of when we get our first little I don't know what you want to call it, exposition dump in which, since everybody's like, well, we're just trapped here in the sub and we're going to drown, I guess we'll talk about our feelings. And Yomiel kind of, when Sissel introduces himself, Yomiel goes, Sissel, huh? Okay. Right. Kind of goes, yeah, you're going to figure out who you are soon. And Sissel's like, what are you talking about? Wait, you know? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you yet.
Why do you have to be fucking cagey about it now, dude? We're about to drown.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tell me.
Yeah, Lynn listens to Yomiel's whole story about his past 10 years, and she feels empathy for him. And that's what causes a crack in Yomiel's shell.
His shell can't be dead. Well, I guess now it can be dead because he got the fragment.
Yeah, he doesn't have the fragment in him anymore.
I mean, to be fair, if I was him, I'd probably go insane too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Checks out. I'll go nuts.
This is the part where 10 years ago, Tiago had like an emotion about this. I fucking cried when I first heard this story. Because the idea of, like, being alone for 10 years, or, like, being an other for, like, just an isolation, totally, like, living in existence that isn't really in existence anymore. And I was like, damn, that's, like, depression. Wow.
Whoa.
That's what that is.
That's what that is.
All right.
2013, Tiago went crazy.
Would you start to form a revenge plan as a result?
I mean, I wasn't in that position. I wasn't at the bottom of the ocean. If I was just going through community college, it wasn't that bad.
You didn't meet Abe Faria in the Chateau d'If to form a revenge plan.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I had an emotion here again. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry again. Yomiel. I like Yomiel a lot because he's a very tragic villain. He pushed to the brink of madness through the corruption of the government.
Because of police brutality.
And
police brutality.
And police brutality, the government, and a fucking meteor. Something no one could have fucking controlled.
And this is where also what Sissel returns to just his, like, blue wisp form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The blue wisp is still wearing sunglasses, though.
Yes.
He's cool.
I mean, they're cool glasses.
Yeah.
We did establish this way back at the, like, near the beginning of the game where Lynn, the first time she's conscious, when she dies, she's like, I'm a detective, and she turns into Cabanella.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, the justice minister doesn't know who he is.
Yeah. So
it's
like your residual self-image is not set. Right.
Right. So people can, spirits, it is spirit. This is kind of like one of those fun callbacks, right? Where there's so many really good foreshadowing moments in this game.
Yeah.
And it's so tightly constructed in that bit because that Lynn bit with her imagining herself as Cabanella, right? And it's just planting that seed for you to go, oh, a spirit can kind of envision themselves however they want, right?
Yeah, I think
it
it happens
not like
once or twice.
A fact of how they look, right? They can kind of change their self-image however they'd like, which is important for in a moment.
Yeah.
Anything else before we jump to rescuing Jowd?
Oh shit, yeah, we gotta rescue my man who put on his, like, detective's trench coat, but he still has, like, a prisoner suit underneath it.
Yeah.
That's a fucking...
His French burner outfit.
He looks like a... I was gonna say, he looks like Cody from Street Fighter, but with a trench coat. He's about to do some fucking fighting combos moves on this blue meanie.
Lynn gets, like, her energy back after, she's like, wait, no, we can do this. There's a missile left. And... So they
nice of them to put 2 on there.
Yeah, they climb further up into the sub where the last missile is loaded. You put it into the chamber, and then Missile, the dog, is like, I can't go with you, Sissel. I can't go. I gotta stay with Camilla. I gotta protect her. And Lynn and Camilla are like, no, Missile, you need to go. You need to use your powers. You and Sissel need to work together to save us. Because if you go and you can find a way to change things, that's something only you can do. If you just sit here on the sub, it's not going to work out anymore. And so you get this kind of fun little heart-to-heart moment between Lynn and Missile and, everybody where they kind of encourage him
Girl
to...
and her dog.
What a good dog.
Missile's great. And again, the dialogue here is very simple, but still really well written, right? And you get, I mean, the thing with Missile, again, is the bits where they have him pause, right? And then say something in all caps or really big text, really loud.
Centered, bolded.
Yeah, it's just, it really helps sell him, like, considering what everybody says, and then
making an informed decision.
Immediately going to 100 on it, and going like, yes, okay, I'm all in on this. Very, very good dog energy going on here in the dialogue.
Doggy.
So everybody hops, all the ghosts hop in the Missile and make their way to this little, room that Jowd is stuck in. And of course, once they get there, they find him already dead, as usual. Because he's been shot by a turret.
So gun
room.
camera.
He got shot by a turret from like Fallout 3. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do against that? I wanted to bring up the fact that this is a room that was ejected from the submarine in order to trap Yomiel at the bottom of the ocean. But Yomiel was able to make a body out of scrap. Couldn't he just walk along the ocean floor and just leave? Like, he had a body. He could just make objects.
I don't know.
I don't
get blown away by sea currents.
I think he was clocking out.
Yomiel gave up, but honestly, ripped to him.
Also, the fragment of his, they pulled the meteor out of his body, and so there would be no point in possessing his body because it would just get crushed by the water pressure.
Well, yeah. Oh, the water. I'm just thinking about the fact that like he was essentially a warforged from D&D at this point, and he can just walk along the ocean floor as a warforged.
Even the most busted ass race in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition could not survive the water pressure at the bottom of the ocean.
The thing about it for me is
all Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
I always
fail. Oh, you got a 20. You fail.
For me, I always
Yomiel had more forethought than the Ocean Gate founders.
Oh fuck!
He's like, I know that even all these metal parts that I've found will not make it under this water pressure.
Could he just possess a fish? Like, he just has to wait for a jellyfish.
He could possess a fish.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He said GG. Like, he was like, all right, I'm out. You got this one.
We solved it for him, but I don't
think
he
was emotionally checked out at that point.
I'm just thinking that if I was in Yomiel's position, I'm out of there, Chief. I'm going back to go get some fried chicken.
I would simply.
If I was Yomiel, I'd be different.
I would jump up through various different, because like he could possess small creatures. That's one of his powers. Jump up through all the various different like levels.
Yeah, and his reach is crazy long.
Could you possess a microorganism?
Oh boy.
Okay,
microorganisms have souls.
We gotta keep going.
We gotta go.
You reset time to save Jowd, and gets gunned down by this gun. And so you think for a minute, okay, I gotta figure out how to stop this gun. And there's no way to stop this gun.
No.
Exactly.
With the things you have. But there's another core. Just like earlier in the game, you can go to the past within the past.
I tried to go to that one first. I was like, tag me into that. That's my out.
Yeah.
And I couldn't reach, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll do the cutscene like I'm supposed to.
Yeah. But yes, then you finally touch Yomiel's corpse. Now that this shard has been removed, and you can jump 4 minutes into the past of his death, which is 10 years ago.
Yep, because specifically, they note that the meteor fragment kept him between life and death. Extending the time limit.
Yeah, he's been in like infinite like suspension this whole time.
Gold experience requiem.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think the game actually ever says this. It's just what I assumed when I played it originally. But because they say it turns out to be something else later. But it's like, I always assumed you could only time travel on bodies that have been dead like a certain, like if they're dead for too long you can't do it anymore is what I always assumed.
Yes, that's what I always thought as well.
And like, I don't think they ever say that. I just like I thought that in my head.
I agree.
Presumably once the body like
Yeah, like a skeleton,
you know,
like
I don't know. You can't do it anymore. But because he's been preserved in such a way that allows you to make this jump. So
radiation keeps him young.
The next segment of the summary, then.
Before we do that, my concept is you can only do that with bodies that haven't had last rites.
This is all Catholic. This entire.
I mean, lots of people do that, right?
True. I always imagine that it has to be a freshly dead body, which means that we could definitely save the body that was in that Froyo and Ace Attorney Investigations 2.
Oh my god.
Oh shit,
that guy definitely didn't get last rites.
We could go back. We could save the investigation of 10 years ago. 18 years ago.
Oh boy.
All right, Ben, take us.
All right.
Take us
we gotta keep going.
Let's go. All right.
Gotta go back to the past.
The crew notices that the fragment has been removed from Yomiel's body, and he now has a core, which means Sissel can jump to 4 minutes before his death. They leap to it and travel a decade back in time to the original incident that started it all, with Jowd chasing down Yomiel and Lynn in the park. Jowd shoos a black kitten away that is getting close to the incident. There, Sissel and Missile work together to deflect the meteor, preventing it from striking Yomiel by using the large Mino statue. Instead, it ricochets off to the side of the park, hitting something. We'll come back to that. Yomiel, in this new version of the incident, now pushes Lynn out of the way of the falling Mino, getting his legs crushed in the process as he is possessed and maneuvered by his own spirit from the future, now full of regret for his past actions. In this new timeline, Jowd and Lynn pick up the black kitten and Jowd adopts it. Yomiel chuckles, saying, "Things sure are different this time around." Sissel then finally starts to realize who he really is, as Sissel recounts that in the original timeline, upon dying, he jumped into the kitten's body and possessed it for a bit until he was able to find his body and regain his memories. However, he found his fiancée long gone, having apparently committed suicide after Yomiel's apparent death.
Unclear.
He named the kitten Sissel after his fiancée and adopted it. They lived for 10 years together, Yomiel's only friend, while he plotted his revenge. When he possessed Lynn to shoot his body and frame her, one shot went astray and hit the bag Cat Sissel was in, and thus died near Yomiel's Temsic radiation, gaining powers of his own. Since he couldn't see any other bodies nearby when his spirit manifested, Sissel simply assumed that Yomiel's body was his own. Now that everything was fixed and laid out, Yomiel apologizes to everyone for his failed revenge plot. They all prepare to go back to the newly created timeline, but still retaining their memories of what happened here, when one last spirit interrupts them. Ray. Ray reveals that he is a spirit from a third timeline, one in which Lynn's death was not averted by Sissel. There, Yomiel and One Step Ahead Tango kill Camilla and Missile in their apartment. However, Missile was close enough to Yomiel's powers. He was close enough to Yomiel to develop powers. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
point blank with a rifle.
Yes, point blank with a rifle. Missile died, and yes, Ray is Missile from the future, from another timeline.
Old Missile.
There, Sissel did not take his advice to help and simply left. So Missile did his best and rewound time from Yomiel's body in the sub, just like the crew did this time. But since he was by himself, he waited 10 long years until the moment when Lynn needed to be saved again. This time, he finds the perfect way to convince Sissel to help, by telling him that Lynn is the key to his identity and making up the lie that spirits disappear at sunrise.
I knew I was right to be suspicious of that, even though it did turn out to be Missile, so it's okay.
Old Missile chuckles and waves farewell as his spirit disappears due to the timeline changes, while everyone returns to the new present. We see Yomiel leaving prison after his sentence to go see his fiancée. We also see the happy family and friends enjoying a birthday dinner together with Jowd, his wife, now alive again, Camilla, Lynn, Missile, and Sissel, now back in his original kitten body. Before the stage lights turn off, we see one last shot of the stray Temsic fragment, now embedded in Sissel, keeping him alive as an eternal kitten forever. Roll credits.
I wish I had a rock that would keep my cats alive forever.
Eternal pets, yeah.
Oh goodness.
This was a wild time because you basically have to solve a murder from 10 years ago, and I was like, man, this is really gonna fuck up the time stream, but like whatever, man, fuck it, we fuck it, we ball.
Yeah.
We have to go back in time. We have to save Yomiel and little kid Lynn, but like
Kid Lynn who's alone in a park, blasting music on her headphones,
making
cooking sweet
and
potatoes,
starting fires.
She's got her earpods
right. I mean, it's
in,
like a Japanese thing of you take like all the leaves you rake and pile them up and then light them on fire with sweet potatoes inside. Right?
Yeah, to roast a potato.
She's cooking a sweet potato in the park. Leave her alone.
But also, like, why the
things that couldn't happen in
right?
America.
But it's funny because you've got some characters be like, "What the hell is she doing?" And then somebody's like, Missile's like, "Everybody has at least one day in their life like that. Give her a break."
Give her a break.
Sometimes you just gotta go to the park and start a fire and make a potato.
Yeah.
We have to use both Missile's and Sissel's abilities to move to block the meteorite that's going to kill Yomiel. And to do this, we use the statue of Mino,
the protector of the park, the guy.
Healthy and strong.
It did it.
It protected both. Well, it was almost going to crush Lynn and Sissel. So we use Minmo to block the meteorite, but then the Minmo is about to fall on the child Lynn. And I like this line a lot where Sissel's like, we gotta make sure this doesn't happen. And everyone's like, why? We can just go 10 minutes back in her past and 4 minutes back in her past. And it's like, no, she'll have
no time for that, Goku.
We'll have the scar. She'll remember that she died. Her psyche.
It's funny because, yes, child Lynn cannot handle the trauma of dying. Adult Lynn has more mental fortitude and can handle dying multiple times.
That woman eats like 5 whole chickens a day. She can handle it.
5
once she started eating protein.
True.
Yeah, Lynn turned 18 and all of a sudden she instantly had the capacity to deal with death 10 times over.
There's also the line earlier when Yomiel's giving the story about how he possessed Lynn, and he's like, she is the first person to ever resist my manipulation, such powerful spiritual energy.
It's the protein. It's the raw protein.
She's consumed so many lives that
Lynn takes off of her jacket, and underneath she's fucking ripped,
shredded.
She's qualified to become detective of the spirit world.
Yeah,
detective of the spirit world.
Exactly.
So I like this a lot because when we use Sissel's ghost powers, the world is red, and then when we use Missile's ghost power, the world is blue. And then Yomiel is like, "Hey, check this shit out," and the world goes
blue.
Yeah,
Missile's green. Yeah.
Missile's green. What? Oh, God damn it. Yes.
Blue, green. Owie.
Dabba dee dabba
it's all the same.
Yeah, it's RGB. And
yes.
And then I wish I could use Yomiel's abilities in game. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they would have to tutorialize it, right?
I mean, it's fucking endgame. I can understand how his power works at this point.
You just move it to the right spot.
Exactly. So yeah, he steps in. He possesses his own body 10 years ago to save little Lynn. And Jowd's like, "Damn, that was crazy." And
why'd you do that, dude? And he's like, "Oh no, but I'm glad I did."
Yep, exactly.
After he was impaled on a lamppost, and then
he's a real
his
tough
legs
too.
crushed by a stone.
I mean, honestly, like, he's real, like, fucking we ball energy.
I mean, the human body
he doesn't need
survive some crazy shit.
Yeah,
like apparently he's still okay though, because he walks out of prison. Like he's not.
I mean, apparently they've got great leg surgeons in this place.
He's been there for years.
His legs get crushed by a giant boulder. Jode's leg got hit by a meteorite.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it like slices.
But
his knee or
he probably
whatever,
should still have a leg.
Exactly, but they're also great at there.
We did flatten.
He's impaled.
We flattened a nearsighted guy with a wrecking ball, and he turned into a cartoon pancake.
That's true.
So, like, what happened is that when you lift the legs, it was just flat. So they just pulled out the air inflation thing from Space Jam, where that they used on Eddie Knight, and fucking make it fun. Yeah, we're fine. Everyone's fine except for the kitten who, like, I like this a lot because Lynn's like, wow, this kitty went limp, but it looks totally A-okay. And I go, that kitty's got a brand new meteorite, baby. So then we have to go back into the future, and when Ray tells me his story about how he was the proto-missile and was in Timeline 0, that timeline failed, and then he went back to a new timeline 1, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to ask Sissel to help me, and Sissel in this timeline was like, no, I don't care about anything but me, I just want to find out who I was. And he fucking dips. He leaves. And Missile's like, fuck, not again.
Cats, huh?
Cats.
So that's the thing. That's why we're tormenting rats the whole game. Because Sissel's a cat. Sissel's he's knocking things off shelves and tormenting rats.
I actually do love
all he does.
You're doing the whole game.
Yeah.
You're being a cat.
I love the notion that, like, the reason your abilities are like that is because you're a cat who is just fucking around.
Yeah.
Like this is what a ghost cat would do.
The reason why Missile can only get objects that are the same shape is because he's a dog. He's moving balls and swapping them.
Yeah.
Right? You know.
And that's why Yobil can manipulate men.
Cars.
Adults. He's
like
as a systems engineer.
Almost everything that you swap as Missile is like a ball, a football shape, or a disc shape, right? You know?
Yeah.
So it's like
bullets.
Yeah.
Bullets. Loves catching bullets.
Fetch Missile.
Yeah, go fetch. Yeah. So there's some like resonance there, like with how their powers kind of play out. I believe Dessy predicted to me, she was like, oh, is the twist that only animals can get powers? And
I guess this brings up a point. I'm not sure if we mentioned that I unfortunately knew the ending of Sissel's story before we started the game.
It was just me then.
I never played the game. I never played it. All I knew is that Sissel was the cat.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I think
every other reveal was like fresh to her.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's enough reveals.
There's still 5 other reveals. Yeah, like the old Missile reveal was still totally authentic. You know,
Missile then goes on to discuss about how Sissel is the most unique power user because 1, he can travel amongst the power lines, and 2, he can rewind time. Whereas Missile's original powers was he could only swap objects, and this was not enough to save everybody.
You could rewind time.
Oh yeah,
that's how he got to the other timeline. Yeah,
true. Yes, he could also.
But then Yomiel cannot rewind time or travel through power lines.
It's because
right.
Yeah.
So anyone can get ghost powers, but only animals can rewind
it's
time.
the slider of like.
And you get powers based on whether you're human or animal, and whatever those animals or humans do. Like people naturally manipulate other people. So that
he's
a system engineer. He works with the mechanisms of society.
The mechanisms.
I just said that just to get you.
I like the idea that like when you die you have to take a litmus test and that's what powers you get. Like you have to fucking like take it like what kind of person are you?
Sacrifice your normal range and abilities for the weird powers.
Find
like
out your
travel.
true personality test by dying.
True.
which afterlife do you get to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cried when this happens because the entire crux of like protagonist movement in this game is the fact that like Missile is so dedicated to saving Lynn and Camilla is that he manipulated 2 timelines to get Sissel to work together with him. And he even goes on to discuss like I would do it myself if I could, but I couldn't. I was simply not strong enough. I needed you.
Yeah,
and that's why
bring the hard medicine to Goku.
Yeah, he had to give Goku the senzu beans.
I mean, he waited for 10 long years. I think I said
this
a
lot of years of dog years.
Yeah, the Let's Play as well. But like, it's like Jurassic Park, the Futurama episode.
Oh yes,
it's like no matter what, Missile will be there. He's waiting. He's gonna make it happen. You know. Yeah. So it's a really It's really sweet, right?
When old Missile punished Phantom Missile, he delivers a line that's just like, "Wow, Missy, you did all that." Like Sissel says, "Wow, Missy, you did all that," or something like that, and Missile goes, "That's what doggies do." I fucking cried. I could not. I was
Tiago dog owner.
Tiago dog owner really fucking cried about it. I'm tearing up right now thinking about it. I
mean, here's the thing. Not to like put like too fine a point on it, because this is not like necessarily like a clever observation or anything.
Yeah.
But like Missile is Shu Takumi's dog. Right?
Yeah.
Like he is putting his love for his dog in this game in such a way, like what he sees in his own real life dog, like what he saw in his real life dog Missile, and how much love he saw out of that dog. Like he's channeling that kind of in this dialogue for old Missile. And I think that's what really makes it feel authentic. And you know, that's kind of how a lot of people like, you know, feel about their dogs. That's I think how a lot of dogs feel about, you know, their people, right? Is that they love, you know, each other, and it's bringing that kind of into the forefront here. And you know, that we get into kind of seeing both sides of it with Sissel as well, with the cats element. So there's something for everybody here. There's something for cat owners and dog owners.
I know. I got like choked up when they said they shot the cat. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, no, it's sad. I mean, obviously we get, you know, obviously Sissel's okay in the end because he gets the meteorite in the new timeline, so he gets to live forever with the new family. But yeah, you know, Yomiel and Sissel, like in the I guess the original timeline or the second one there, you know, they were together for those 10 years, and Yomiel continually says, you know, Sissel, you were my only friend. You were always there for me. You were, you know, with me after my wife left, you know, my fiance left.
They even know that like Yomiel, before his powers developed to the point where he could control other things, like he was just a spirit. And he says like for several years he was just like a vague soul attached to this cat. Right, like living as a cat.
He just kind of he just kind of rode around in Sissel's body for a bit. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm tearing up.
Yeah.
This story, I like Ghost Trick a lot because you can't say this without spoiling it, but this is a game about pets and like and owners who love each other very much, and I really like that. I gotta compose myself for a second.
I mean, and this is also part of the reason why Ghost Trick has that reputation in its fan base, where people go, you have to play Ghost Trick. I cannot tell you why. You have to play Ghost Trick. I cannot tell you why.
Yeah.
Because if you start to talk too much about the themes of this game and pets and their owners and that kind of stuff, like you start to kind of like catch on to those things earlier, and it's so much more fun when you can experience those twists yourself.
Yeah.
And be surprised by everything.
Rose,
in my opinion, anyway.
Rose, how'd you feel about this?
I mean, I love it. You know, I think they really wrapped up the threads nicely. I love the good like story about, you know, the love of pets. Happy birthday, Roxy. She's 5 as of yesterday.
Happy birthday, Roxy.
Happy birthday, Roxy.
Yeah, so she was under my bed while I was finishing this game because she likes to go under there and be in a little cave. When she's not barking to defend the home like Missile is. So I thought it was lovely, you know. As the second I saw the cat was in the scene, like we go back 10 years and I see the cat and I'm like, oh, I'm the cat, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew right away once I saw that it was there. I was like, that's the only other creature here. I am the cat. I just got to find out how. And that was fun, you know. Like I said, it was nice. Everything fit together in a way that I really appreciated, and I liked that the characters were like actually like smart and unique and like did things that made sense. You know, we talked about this when we first met Jowd, like a guy who picks up on our abilities and immediately is like, okay, I'm gonna start using these, you know.
Yeah.
And there's no like dumb character like makes mistakes to teach us things, it's just, oh yeah, he gets it, let's go. It was a very like snappy, fast-paced game.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. I liked it very much.
It's a good game.
Yeah, good ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Montage during the credits of everyone we've met along the way.
Yes, very Ace Attorney style. Get to see everybody where they are now.
Yeah, we even get to see. We even get to see Yomiel getting out of jail, which I liked.
Yeah, there's a bit where they're talking about the park way back when they're talking about how the meteor's in the park and everyone's got surveillance on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the dude with the big hair walks on screen, and Sissel's like, "That guy's a government agent keeping tabs on the park." And Yomiel says, "No, he's just a weirdo. He's just a plain odd guy."
That guy,
a weird guy.
literally just here.
Yeah, the park activist.
Yeah.
He's just a park activist. That's it.
He's just a normal guy. In the credits, he
Fighting
sends,
for the rights of everybody.
Yeah, in the credits, he's like, "Don't charge admission to enter the park. It's for everybody."
And that's dead ass true.
He's right.
Yeah, no, you should never charge admission for a public service. I care a lot about parks.
Yeah. And what about recreation?
I love recreation. You know me, I'm a big recreation kind of guy. I love the ending with like the family is together. Jowd's wife is there. Lynn is becoming a detective with her toy badge. Cabanelli eats spaghetti in the weirdest way possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotta be pasta carbonara, right?
I wonder if...
Yeah, I know. Like, it boiled all down to that. It's carbonara.
I wonder if, at some point, he would, like... that, to me, felt like an anime... Because it's weirdly detailed animation for the credits.
Yeah.
And I wonder if, at some point in development, like, in early drafts of the story, he would be at the chicken kitchen or the restaurant and he'd be eating also, right? And they made this animation and then put it in where they could. That's just a theory.
Yeah, I hear you. I think what's really interesting is that in this new timeline, the timeline Prime, the only four people, the Prime time line, the only four people who recognize what really happened would be Detective Jowd, Yomiel, and Sissel and Missile.
Not even Missile.
Well, that's it. But Missile was there. You know what I mean? But
Missile wasn't born yet.
That brings up an interesting point. As soon as Missile is born, does he remember the previous timeline?
No.
It has like a huge lot of memories come into
I'm a dog
his brain.
reincarnated as a dog.
Just like he's a dog.
No notes. The ideal body.
He wakes up as a
top Pomeranian.
He wakes up. He opens his eyes and he's like, "I gotta find Lynn and Camilla. Like, I gotta fucking go." So like,
yeah, I don't know. Probably, it's not worth thinking too hard about that aspect of things. But
doesn't he specifically say that he would remember? Everybody would remember.
I mean, there's the
remember,
morphogenetic resonance of Lynn says, "I feel like we've known you my whole life, Sissel." Right?
Exactly.
Right.
She even goes on to say, "Nice to meet you again, Sissel," and I'm like,
well, because on one level it's the cat from the park, but on the other level,
but you could also interpret it as like, "Oh yeah, we're friends because you saved my life like 6 times." I like
Dandy or robbing a bank above the chicken kitchen.
That's dude. I'm so happy for Beauty.
Just
and that
because
the blue meanies are still there, still doing stuff. The curry guy's eating chicken curry at the curry restaurant. The rock stars in the park. Jamming some. I don't care about these two. I don't even know their
not Sausage Head.
Not Sausage Head. I don't care about Sausage Head. Even though there's a very funny animation where Beauty and Dandy blow up the safe because they use too much TNT, and the money falls on Sausage Head, and the money is like, it's 3D like money, so it looks like it looks like a fucking source animation of them dropping a bunch of just a bunch of money falling out of a guy. I'm glad Yomiel's okay and he's got his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give him a French burner outfit and a pink sweater.
Yeah, he gets that pink. He gets the pink schmuck. I always thought that the lady who was visiting Yomiel this entire time was Lynn, but it makes more sense that it's Sissel.
Yes.
He's
human Sissel.
Human.
Yeah.
We never see.
Sissel /
His
human.
fiance.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean,
Who we don't see.
You thought she committed suicide.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't because he doesn't
Right.
die disgraced for not
That's
being
like a
killed
totally
for a crime he doesn't
reasonable.
commit.
It's a totally reasonable assumption.
It is left vague, if I recall correctly. The dialogue says he came home in the cat body, right? He rushes home and he finds a note from her where she says, I'll see you, I'll see you on the other side or something like that.
For whatever reason, that makes a lot of sense. For whatever reason, I always thought, when I first played this game, I assumption that she had like a terminal disease, or she had like a disease or something, and when her beloved was locked up, she gave up hope. Right, something like that.
She died of a broken heart.
Yeah,
even though he was unjustly in prison.
Didn't fight the cancer or whatever. But also,
I mean, my guess is there was some time lag of how long it takes him in the cat body to get back to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Versus she would immediately know that he was not dead, whereas then she would learn that he had been killed.
I found the exact dialogue of the note that Sissel left was, "I'm coming to you, Yomiel."
Okay,
That is
fairly,
I hurried to my fiance's house, but it was too late, finding a note that said, "I'm coming to you, Yomiel."
Gotcha.
So that's how I interpret it.
That makes way more sense. Now that I'm an adult.
Right. It's very tragic, Shu Takumi style stuff, right?
Yes.
Is that somebody dies essentially of a broken heart, right? In this.
And this time we won't flash to a shot of it
right?
30 times during the cross-examination.
Right. Yeah.
On the other hand, this is a guy who had Miles Edgeworth leave a suicide note, and then he comes back and he's like, I was joking. So,
I just wanted to mess with you. I wanted to make you. I wanted you to be.
I meant it as a metaphor, Phoenix. I don't know why you're crying and
Batman.
shit.
Gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Ghost Trick is a good game.
So yeah, that's Ghost Trick.
I think it's an impeccably constructed experience. It all feeds into itself, right?
The whole game was the Rube Goldberg machine, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Every part mattered.
Every part.
10 to 12 hours of gameplay that and story that all kind of just fits together, right? And it's great art, it's great music, it's great writing, it's really good characters. And that is probably why everybody who plays this game becomes a super fan of it and tells everybody, no, you don't understand, grabs you by the shoulders. You got to play Ghost Trick. Why? I cannot tell you. And that is it's because everything fits in this.
Also, it's a game with, there's no combat.
Yeah.
It's a non-violent game. You're trying to save people's lives, right?
Well, we did crush a guy with a wrecking ball.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, but it was a funny cartoon, though. He got really flat like a piece of paper.
You were trying to save somebody from a shot.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He was an assassin,
I guess. You're right.
But yes, when Pele uttered the term "the beautiful game," he meant Ghost Trick.
He didn't mean 13 Sentinels Eagles Room.
No, I'm pretty sure he was talking about Ghost Trick.
All right, okay.
All right.
Ghost Trick, baby. I was curious, so I started looking up multiple walkthroughs for the missile section. Because I'm curious about
circling back around, just like the missile did.
Just like the missile did.
Am I hallucinating?
It seems to me that whenever I am looking up the missile, it says jump to the right side. It's just the 4 pipes. Oh wait, no, this is manipulate. Some people are saying that it has to point downward, but what the fuck does that mean? I don't like that terminology in this game, Fex.
Point downward means the weights are pointing downward.
But like, I never thought they were pointing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Downward means downward. Upward means upward.
I know what that means, bro. Okay.
I'm not talking to you. You're fine. I'm talking to those people.
I was like, point a banana upwards. Like, what do you mean by that? That's not clear
Diagonal
enough.
Twix. Diagonal Twix.
What? Diagonal Twix?
Diagonal Twix.
What does that mean?
Left Twix, right Twix, diagonal Twix. I literally sent a video yesterday to you guys. Apparently nobody fucking watched it.
Am I having a stroke?
One day we'll understand all the mysteries.
Immediately afterwards we go back and I tell you guys to watch the video I sent last night.
Oh my goodness, I was in Baldur's Gate.
I was not even in the Ace Attorney chat, usually.
I was playing Dead Rising.
We're starting to degrade, which means I think it's time to wrap things up.
Goodness.
No, I'm just...
Yeah, I need more coffee or I'm gonna...
I'm just finding out that, like, people are saying that, like, you need to make it so that both weights are on the same side, regardless of if it's up or down. But
that was a lie.
Well, it didn't fucking work when it was down, so...
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Because in our stream, we tried it both down, and it did not work. We tried them both up, then that worked. So
fucking lie.
Anyway, we leave that one to the internet to figure out.
Yeah. No knock on the game. That was just an internet problem.
Yeah. So you can follow the show on Twitter at Ace Attorney Pod, on co-host/Ace Attorney, or on our website, updatedautopsy.report, to stay up to date on everything we do. You can watch all of our Let's Plays with Dessy and I and Iro playing through the game on youtube.com/@Yotseben. You can follow me on all social media at Yotseben. Dessy, where can people find you?
At Dessy on Blue Sky, I guess, for now.
Okay. And Tiago?
I am at Tiago S. Dutra on Twitter. There you can find my link tree. Yeah, that's me.
And Rose?
You can find me at Rose Nonsense on Tumblr and sometimes co-host, where you can commission me for responsibly priced art because I am poor again. So give me a hand, everybody.
Yeah.
For my dog's birthday.
And Iro, where can people find you?
You can find me at your own co-host and also at on the Gloria Chat Anime Podcast.
Yeah, you want to plug Gloria real quick?
Yeah.
Well, we talk about anime, like it's a fortnightly podcast where we talk about anime. This season's rough.
There's a few good things out there. Not much though, unfortunately.
You have to listen to find out.
Be strong.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. We hope that you will rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Next week, since we're bi-weekly, the next episode we will have a short break. There might be a podcast in the feed, I'm not sure. But we're going to take a little break because we've been outside of Ace Attorney world for a little while. But then after that, we will be jumping into Ace Attorney Dual Destinies Case 1 called Turnabout Countdown. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.